Hey everyone, this is Anna here. In this video, I wanted to show you how I made this nice large bowl that could be a multi-purpose bowl, could be a salad bowl, fruit bowl, or anything that you can serve food. In this particular case, I wanted something elevated. I don't always do that. Sometimes I want something that just sits flat on the surface, but in this case, I wanted to look like something fancy, and every time you put something on a pedestal, it always gives that fancy look, especially because it's a poinsettia, even though I didn't glaze like a poinsettia flower with the texture and everything. I wanted more like a fall look to it. But because it had all these edges that I wanted to manipulate and I just wanted something with a pedestal, I think it looked very nice like this. And so what I used, when you see the following video where I'm making the bowl part, I wanted to show you exactly how I made the two pieces. So I used this as a mold. I try to always make my mold out of clay. It works the best, but I didn't have something quite this large. And so I save sometimes pieces like this, that this is just a lid of a wok pan that I save to use as a slump mold, or you can use it as a drape mold here on the back. And you can also use it on the inside, so you can be either way. And sometimes you can find pieces like that, like at a thrift shop or garage sales. You can always find something that you can use as a mold, especially for something large like this that I was looking for. I didn't have one. So this one is 13 inches in diameter by about 4 inches deep, and I wanted something like this. You can also use something like, I got this one from TJ Maxx, I believe. It was on sale. This is a wooden bowl, and you can also use this on both sides here as a drape mold, and you can use it also on the inside. It's very nice and round, but very shallow. So I thought about using this, but then I thought it was too shallow and a little bit too small. So that's why I used that other lid that worked out really well. And another thing, this is what I use for my texture, and it's a poinsettia placemat. And I'll put the link, my Amazon affiliate link, I'll put that on my description. I tend to always put everything I use on my tutorials in my description. So you see that I'll put the link in there for you if you would like to buy some. The only thing is that this comes as a set. I didn't find one that is like only one or two, it comes as it's either a set of 4 or 6. So that's the downside of buying these placemats, is that you're stuck with a bunch of them. And so another thing I wanted to point out is how I went about making the pedestal with the bowl. And then I'll go into the glazing. So this was done, hand built. The bottom pedestal, I did it on the potter's wheel. But if you're a hand builder, you can certainly just make this ring from a slab as your pedestal. But the key thing here is to make sure that when you put the two together or place one on top of the other just to see the fit, make sure that they are flush with each other on the surface, that there are no gaps in between. And so what I did is I put this upside down when it was leather hard. I placed my ring on top of this and marked it with a Sharpie pen inside and out, make sure it was in the center. And that gave me the width of my pedestal. And so while my wheel was rotating, I went with a carving tool and made a little groove all around where the ring was going to sit. And so it was fired separately. It was bisque fired separately. And then when it came time to glaze, I use the glaze on the bottom of the ring and on the groove, and then I put them together. It's almost like a glue, and it stays there enough for you to hold the bowl like this and brush around, or you can dip it. But I find that this glaze that I used on the outside, which is Amaco honey flux, I did 2 coats on the whole bowl. I did 2 coats of honey flux, 1 coat of river birch, both Amaco, and then right at the edge of the groove, inside and out, I probably did with a small brush, I did maybe 4 or 5 coats just to make sure that I had a thick application, that it wasn't going to show any cracks or anything like that. And then another thing I was going to say is that with this glaze, I never get any issues, even with the thick application. So it's a real good glaze for this purpose. Like some glazes might give some issues when it's real thick, with bubbling or pinholing. With this one, I never had any issues. And so the application, and if you stay until the end, I will show a picture exactly how I painted this. I brushed the glazes, but it's inside. I did 2 coats of Spectrum soft white all over, all the way to the edge. Then around the whole rim, about an inch band of dark green, which is Amaco. Then Amaco on the very rim, Amaco Ancient Jasper on the very rim of each of these peaks. And then over the 2 glazes here, I did Amaco Oatmeal. And the oatmeal is a very drippy glaze and sometimes gives you these greens and blues and purple hues on top of another glaze, and that's what I got. And it gave this real nice effect of the flower. So that's all I did. I didn't do the peacock technique or anything like that. I just went around the edge, and because of the way these peaks are, that's how it flowed into the middle, and it formed this design. So I was quite pleased with that. And then same thing I did in the edge here, except that again, here was Amaco honey flux and river birch. And that's it. I do have other pieces that I've done it this way, and I put on the dishwasher and never had any issues. I wouldn't particularly use a piece like this that was glazed with the 2 pieces separately like that. I wouldn't put it in the oven to bake something, because I would be afraid of, with the temperature, to crack in here. But I've been using a piece as a fruit bowl, and sometimes for washing, I do put it in the dishwasher. I never had any problems, never had any cracks happening. And so I'm comfortable, with this technique. Now, the better technique is to have them attached at, before leather hard, which I do that sometimes. The issue with that is that you have to have them at the same thickness to avoid issues. Like the pedestal and the bowl should be the same thickness, and also at the same dryness. They both should be about the same. So if one is a little bit more dry than the other, you might have a problem, or vice versa. So you might get a crack or something like that happening. But I cover my pieces and dry real slowly. I've had a problem before with porcelain doing the pedestal together, because porcelain is just more finicky that way. But with stoneware, usually it's more forgiving. But doing this method is very easy. That's why I am showing that to you, just as another way to do the pedestal. So an easier way, I guess. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you can. That only helps me and my channel. Thanks again.